Hello Leo, this is your November of 2022 Taroscope with Animal Totem. Uh, this is for all Leo, Sun sign, rising moon, anybody who's got a lot of Leo in their chart or major planets. The decks we're going to be using, I'm vickieverlie and I'm at vickieverlie.com. Don't be fooled by imposters. And you should be watching the Rock and Roll Prophetess on YouTube at this moment. But anyways, yeah, so the decks we're going to use. Chrysalis Tarot for the first part of the spread. Then we're going to go in with my Rock and Roll Tarot deck, 3rd edition, the small one. It's really cool. Then we're going to pull an Animal Totem card from the Beast Mistress Animal Oracle cards. Get your Animal Totem for the month. And then if you're a level 2 Patreon subscriber, there's going to be some additional stuff pulled from the, 4 cards pulled from the Morgan Greer. This is the little one that comes in the tin edition. All the decks that I'm using in this video you can find links to if you want to get them for yourself. You can find the links below. Okay, so Leo, there's some stuff going on. I'm going to start with a little bit of astrology because we're having an eclipse up here in Taurus. And Jupiter, which has been in Aries, is going to be, it's moving backwards. It's going to dip back into Pisces for 6 weeks until it goes around again. It won't be back for 12 years. So this is interesting. Now, the eclipse up here in your 10th house, now that's really grabs me for you guys. Now, what I'm talking about right here may be more particular to, the tarot cards are for everybody, the cards, but this is really a little bit geared more towards the rising sign. So if you haven't watched your rising sign, I definitely recommend you do for just this part here at least. So this thing about your career could be major changes coming in your career. Something could be really revealed. I just heard all will be revealed. Because those are the full moon eclipse is what's happening. It's on, by the way, it's on November 8th, if I didn't say that. So this full moon eclipse brings things to light, shows you the truth, brings things to fruition, and also is a time for releasing. So if some of you have reached the point where in your job or your career it's just like, I am so done with this stuff, this would be a good time to start working on getting out of it. You know, I wouldn't do anything abrupt. You know, you want to, but you work on starting to release it. For some of you, it could be a blockage in your career that's really like a glass ceiling that's really been holding you back, and it just bursts wide open, and you just go through the roof. I keep hearing through the roof. I might have to write that down. Through the roof. So I'm not sure what that means, but it's a lot. Through the roof means it's going high, it's going well. Okay, so then Jupiter was in your 9th house. So you were kind of feeling maybe some philosophical things since May. It went into your 9th house. But where it's backing up, and it's going to be, this is not the most compatible thing with you. It's fire and water, it's whatever, quincunx, semi-sextile, it's that adjustment layer. You know, it's not a great placement for you. It's the same energy that we were in the beginning of the year, as from like January through May of 2022. We're revisiting that. So, therefore, we could be revisiting situations that were going on in your life at that time. 8th house for you could be financial. Could be it's sex, death, and taxes, basically. But I always think of it as one of the major financial houses. Because it's the 8th, this is your finance, and this is the joint finances, or somebody could be backing you. Some finance, I'm hearing the word financier, which is an odd word. Some financier could show up, or somebody could show up with investor, backer, things along that line that want to back you up and maybe even do something for you in your career. So it's kind of exciting for you, Leo. All right, let's go ahead and move over to the cards. We're going to start with the Celtic Cross with the Chrysalis Tarot here. There's no gender in these readings. So Knight, King, Queen, could just be anybody. Here's your first card right now. The King of Stones. This is the King of Pentacles, or Earth sign energy. Followed by the Hermit, the Storyteller. The Two of Mirrors, which is like the Two of Cups, or the Soulmate card. In the past, we have the Eight of Mirrors, or the Eight of Cups. Moving on. Above, we have the Knight of Stones, the young Earth sign energy. We have the Raven here, the Magician. Excuse me, we have the Healer, who is the Page of Mirrors, or the Page of Cups. And here it's called the Healer. It's got the Beehive. Two of Spirals, which is Two of Swords. Hopes, Wishes, and Dreams, you got the Six of Mirrors, or the Six of Cups. And then the final outcome, the Four of Spirals, or the Four of Rods, which is usually focused on the home, or changes in the home, improvements in the home, happiness in the home. Good cards. Right away, what catches me, what do we have here? We've got two birds here. We've got now one bird, but with two nests here. We've got two birds here. Well, what they just came through is kill two birds with one stone. So you may be able to accomplish more than one thing, kill two birds with one stone. Two dilemmas could be solved with one, road of action, one course of action. So the Eight of Mirrors is behind you. You're moving on. This is moving on. You already made up your mind. You already made up your mind. You want to move on. The basis of the situation here is this Two of Cups soulmate card. And it's clearly going to be this Knight of Stones person. It certainly would seem that way. Earth sign energy, Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo. They show up as the Knight and King. So usually this is going to mean a long-term relationship that you either meet him now and you're going to know him for many years to come, or you've already known him for a lot of years. Something about the guy with the dog here is somebody that has a dog, or you might meet him at the dog park, or some connection with that dog there. For somebody, there's something about the dog has the same name as your dog, or maybe even, I'm feeling like it's like maybe even the same name as you, or your dad, or somebody. Like I had a dog named Sam, and we had a dog named Eddie. We used to name our dogs people names, And even right now, my dog Rocco, I didn't name him, but I got him. I rescued him, but he was already named, but he's named a people name too. So I kind of get that feeling about that with this dog, that there's this dog that has, and it feels like a male name too, like, Rocco, Eddie, Sammy, these different dogs, male, typical male name, typically a male name, traditional male name. And it's the dog's name. And it feels like, too, that it might be a connection to you. Like, oh, that was my grandfather's name, or something like that. The guitar's grabbing me, too. He might be a musician. He or she might be a musician. Or you might meet this person while at a concert or a show or something like that. If you've been the hermit, if you've been in this hermit mode, it might be time to start getting out there and venturing. Because look they're making their nests ready for you and everything. This is the home and the nest. And it's like, oh... What's going on with Leo? We have the eclipse in Taurus. And typically, if you look at any astrology book, it's going to say Leo and Earth sign. This is representing Earth sign energy. So it could be just talking about that time frame, too, of the eclipse time frame. But typically, straight astrology books are going to say, oh, well, you got to look much deeper. You got to look at your Venus and Mars at least, if you're looking at relationship stuff. You might be saying, well, the Earth sign energy, that's not for me. I will be all the years in the bars and observing people, all the people I've come across my path, and I know all their signs, I used to. I've seen Leo and Taurus, I've seen that relationship work very often, and they stay. I don't know if it's just because they're both too stubborn to break up with each other, or what it might be. But I have seen that relationship work in a number of long-term relationships. I think in most cases, I will say that the man was a male and female, cis relationship, and the man was the Taurus and the woman was Leo. I think in almost every case, but I don't know if that's a factor or not. But you both like nice things. You both like the finer things in life. You like nice wine, nice food, nice home. So it's not surprising. So it can work. Don't always rely on those. Well, I don't get along with this sign or that sign, because there's so many layers to it. There's so much more to it. But you may have been being a hormone. If you, what the hell did I just say? I was trying to say a homebody and a hermit. I don't even know what I said. But you may have been kind of just staying home, or even just out of the dating game. Maybe you're just kind of like, I had enough of this. I'm out of the dating game. I don't need this anymore. And you may meet some eclipse could just bring somebody right in. And there's all this stuff about this home with the gazebo and the place and the flower, and the bird is making the nest really comfortable. You want to live here? You want to live here? A little bird told me that Leos might be meeting somebody this month, or maybe your partner, you're already with somebody. Maybe you're going to be fixing up your house, or they might even surprise you with, oh look, while you were gone, I fixed that thing that was broken, that cabinet or whatever. You know, I did something around the house to make it better. I improved the home. You know, you got this, when you have these cards too, this can be a baby coming. But in this deck, it's the healer, and she's doing the thing with the bees and the gardening and out there harvesting. And for a lot of us in the Northern Hemisphere, we're still harvesting our gardens and stuff. And, you know, we're doing all the stuff to make the garden better. But this also is a card of a psychic, spiritual connection. I feel like, don't go doing anything. Because it might even be like a holiday gift. You might get a surprise. Or you might surprise, we got to move. Well, I mean, I guess if you do improvements to your house before you move, it does help it sell better. But I feel like, just back off. I feel like, here's another thing I want to say to you, Leos. Let them do something. If you're too much on, you know, Leos are, you know, on the ball, they're always doers and stuff. Maybe just let them do something. Or let them make a choice about the home stuff. Maybe they want different kind of, you know, decor furniture or whatever, you know, stuff like that. Let them make that choice. Because I feel like they want to maybe surprise you, or they might be planning something special, and then you go charging in and making plans, and it kind of like, oh, you know, it kind of ruins it. And this might not even be your love interest partner. Maybe it's somebody else. Maybe it's a friend or a family member. There's two birds on the top of here too. This has been out quite a bit, but look, there's two birds on the top of her head too. Two birds are better than one? That's not a saying. What is the real saying? Two something are better than one. A bird in the hand or the pocket, or I don't know. I'll be here all day trying to say these bird sayings. Here's the music here with the guitar, and then we've got the pan guy playing this flute too. So maybe there's some kind of tie, and maybe you guys are both musicians, or you are, or they are, or maybe you're planning to, you know, do some kind of musical event or concert. Or if there's a concert or show coming up that you want to go to, definitely go, because if you're single, you could meet somebody there for sure. And, you know, you may be changing your home. That's the final outcome, that 4 of rods. Okay, let's get these other cards going here. So Leo, you're fire sign, you're fiery. Let's look for that fire sign energy. We're going to look for the page, not the page. It's funny I said the page, because it's not the page. We're going to look for only the adult fire energy. So that's going to be the knight, the king, or the queen. And it doesn't matter your gender. Whoever shows up first, that's going to be your card. Okay, so if the knight shows up first, the queen, the king, whoever shows up, there's that 4 rods right in the same row there. They're doubling down on that 4 rods energy. Even though we may not, we're going to find you in the spread. We're looking for that fire energy. And once we find your card, then we look around. We look at the cards surrounding you. There you are. You're showing up as a knight of rods. And the card surrounding you here is going to give us some more insights, potentially. Didn't I say earth sign before too? Yeah. And here, look at this. You got the knight and the king in the first part of the pentacles, and you got the knight and the king again of the pentacle twice. And, you know, you've got this 2 of rods. This says you guys get along well. You've got friends and lovers too, if that's part of it, but definitely friendship, really on the same page, really get along well. He's bringing the sun energy. He or she's got this bright light around them. You're looking at this person and you're saying, wow, this person has everything that I want in a partner of whatever capacity. You know, if it's love, business, whatever the case. They have everything. It feels romantic, passion standing out. So you're very well. You could be passionate about the same thing, not necessarily don't have anything to do with sex. It could be passionate about a cause. Here's that 6 of Cups again, or the Page of Cups. You got the Page of Cups. You got the Page of Cups here and down here. Twice that Page of Cups is there. Could be somebody from the past, because when we got the Knight and the King, again, I'll reiterate that could be a very long-term relationship. It could also be somebody who is popping back in from the past when you got the 6 of Cups up in where all these things are here. You knew them before when they were a knight, and now it's however many years later, maybe 10 years later, 20 years, 30 years later for some, you know, and you meet them again. They've changed. Know that they have changed. They've definitely been through, I don't feel like, maybe for some cases this might be your pain. I feel like it's their pain. I feel like they I mean, I really feel like they suffered some major losses. They maybe lost their spouse. They may have even lost a child. I hope that's not the case, but this kind of stuff, this looks like it could have even be lost a child. So you will find them changed. What did I just hear? What is that from? I just heard, you will find them much altered. And that's a quote from some movie that I watched a lot of times, because I remember that. You will find her much altered, or him much altered. If anybody recognizes that line from that movie. Because sometimes when there's a line from a song or a movie, sometimes it's more than just a line. There's more to it than that. But you will find them much altered. But they're into the king state now. Because they got a lot, to have it enjoy themselves. I mean, Leos, you know how to enjoy yourself. If anything, anybody knows how to enjoy themselves, Leos do, you know. And they want to do this, they want to get back into the world, but there's this chasm. There's this chasm in this pit, and they'll forget about it for a few minutes and be happy, and then they go back into it. And I know maybe you don't want to be with Debbie Downer over there, or Mr. Depressing over here, but I do feel like this is a soulmate relationship. You have that soulmate card showing up here, and the lovers, it was up there, yeah. So, I mean, you're not obligated to be their human energy sponge, let them suck you dry, but it may be worth extending a little bit extra effort to get this person out of their shell, to, it's going to be different for everybody. You can't let somebody just suck you dry with an energy vampire. That's not what we're talking about. But maybe, going to some kind, you might see them at some kind of wedding, some kind of family reunion, some kind of class reunion, because that almost looked like reunion there. It says ruin, actually, but I throw O in there. Let that happen, by the way. If you see words or colors or anything grabs your eye, definitely pay attention to that, because that's the way your spirit guides can come through and talk directly to you through this reading. All right, I'm going to shuffle up for our animal totem cards here, and don't forget it, the 2023 year ahead readings are available. I'm doing a ton of them. They're always the most popular reading of the year. It's a look ahead. At first we start with the astrology, which there's a lot of it. And we look at how these aspects are going to affect your chart, potentially. And then we dive into the tarot. We do 4 quarters of the year of the tarot. And then we pull an animal totem, which I'm going to do for you again right here now. So if you think that's something you'd be interested in, check it out. You can find it either in the links below, or just go to my website. Everything's there. That's always probably the easiest thing. Woodpecker. Opportunities knocking. You're knocking at your back door. Another bird. Little bird told me. Maybe I'll change. I'm going to put that down. I'll decide later. A little birdie told me. Because I keep hearing that. You got a lot of birds here. I mean, there's just, again, told me. Let me finish writing that before I forget it. There's a lot of, because you could say it's for the birds, meaning it sucks. Oh, that's for the birds. I don't want that. Or, it's not always a positive thing with the birds, but boy, they got these bird energy for you. I mean, maybe it's time for you to fly when you get these wings. Rapping, tapping from the forest canopy overhead. Undetected if not for the sound. Listen. Primal rhythms awaken your heart to the earth's song. Excuse me, it's funny I'm saying listen too in these rhythm, because when we were picking up the music. And I know a lot of Leos, you guys are, I was just talking about this with, Leos are great front people. All my old bands, I always had a Leo front person, because they were gung-ho for anything. I'd come up with the ideas, I'd be hiding back behind the keyboards, and they're like, yeah, we'll wear that costume, I'll do that thing, cool, whatever. They're always, you guys are, you're performers, you're the performers of the Zodiac. Alright, so that wraps up the reading. I wanted to really mention a couple real quick things before we go. My song is going to be coming out. This is a song I actually wrote in the 80s. And then it got recorded. It wasn't a great record. It was an okay recording, but it never really, it was kind of rushed and it was never right. So I went back and I tried to do it as right as I can get it. I slowed it down, I changed the key, I did a lot of changes to the song. And it's going to be released early November. It's coming out on Friday. I'm shooting for the 4th, but it might not be out till the 11th. And then the second thing is, many of you have asked me over the years, what's with the rock and roll prophetess? What's, you know, the bands and the music and da. So if you're interested in finding out about that, there's my hometown here, local Cleveland, Level Up Cleveland. It's on YouTube. You can find it. And they did an interview with me recently. I got to it was just hanging out and talking. You know, I was doing some caffeine. I was a little bit. Oh, there it goes. Oh, I kept hitting the wrong buttons there. Yeah, so we were just chatting about all my bands that I was in through the years, and they talked a lot about my parents' bar. So if you have any interest at all, check that out. That, you know, that's on the YouTube too. It's a whole another side of this, but that's where the whole rock and roll prophetess comes in, because I am a lifelong musician. And thirdly, you know, everybody, we might be starting our holiday shopping at this time of year. And if you are starting your holiday shopping, you know, consider purchasing gifts from an independent creator like myself. Could be me, could be somebody else. But, you know, you can find, if you go to vickieverlie.com, I've got t-shirts, I've got notebooks with my art on, all kinds of cool stuff. So, you know, maybe consider that. And again, even if it's not me, consider purchasing your holiday shopping from some independent creators. You know, check out their websites, or maybe find them on Instagram or even on Etsy. And there's so many of us out there, and this is a way that we don't have to, you know, why feed the corporate greed when you can support independent people? You know, that's always my way of looking at things. But, you know, do what you want, but just a suggestion. Anyways, everybody, hey, thanks for tuning in. Please like, share, and subscribe. Doesn't cost a dime. Subscribe's down here in the bottom, and that lets the YouTube algorithm know. Sharing, commenting. That lets the YouTube algorithm know that you enjoy my content, and it lets me know that you enjoy my content. So always appreciated. Remember, you are love and beauty incarnate. Have a great month of November. We're coming through these eclipses once more. Patreon is going to be up next with the Morgan Greer deck. You can find all that stuff below or through the website. Have the best month ever, Leo. If I called you Scorpio, I think I had that in my head. But I know it's Leo. Have the best month ever, Leo. See you next time. Bye.